At the outset, I have to perform the pleasant task of formally conveying my good wishes to the Central Administrative Tribunal, its chairman, Mr. Justice Reddy and his team, the Union Territory Government of Jammu and Kashmir, the legal fraternity of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and the people of Jammu for having established an exclusive bench of CAT. Everything else is fine. My only regret is जो मलाल है कि we had thought that we would be physically there, as was I think being mentioned by the Chief Justice, and actually we had planned that too, but the blame lies with the Lieutenant Governor. His guidelines do not permit us. I am saying so in a lighter way. But the matter of fact is that if we had planned that I, Chandramouli and Justice Reddy would be there, but then we were told that we'll have to go through the quarantine and we would not be able to attend the ceremony. And if we dared to skip the quarantine, then that would make a bigger media news than the news about the inauguration of the CAT bench. And therefore, with all these constraints confronting us, we are meeting virtually, and I'm sure gradually we'll also learn to identify each other with masks on. And somebody removes the mask, it will be difficult to actually identify. Now, having said that, to pick up from where the Lieutenant Governor was saying, ever since Jammu and Kashmir went through the constitutional changes on the 5th and 6th of August 2019, and then a new administrative setup came into being on the midnight of the 31st of October. There have been a series of changes one after the other. And what is happening today is actually a sequel to that. We crossed the first hurdle when we proved the prophets of doom wrong, who had predicted that there would be bloodshed, there would be earthquake, etc. and whatnot. And I have no hesitation to say that in the last 30 years of militancy, we have had the most peaceful festive season in Jammu and Kashmir. We had the festival of Eid, we had the festival of Muharram, we had the festival of Deepavali, we had the festival of Holi, we had two national festivals, namely the Independence Day, the Republic Day, and there's not been a single occasion in the last 3 decades that there was not an untoward incident. This was for the first time, for which the Union Territory government deserves to be complimented.
पहले कहा जाता था कि साहब 370 चला गया, यूटी बन गया, डोमिसाइल लॉ कहाँ है? तब आप देखिए डोमिसाइल भी आ गया। फिर कहा जाने लगा कि साहब पश्चिम पाकिस्तान के शरणार्थी हैं, उनका कुछ नहीं हुआ। आपने कहा था तो होगा, वो भी हो गया। Let's not forget that once 370 is gone, it's UT, it has to happen. We just need patience. फिर कहा जाने लगा कि साहब पाक अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर के जो 5300 परिवार हैं, उनका कुछ नहीं किया, ना एलजी ने किया, ना केंद्र ने किया, वो भी आपने देखा हो गया। फिर कहा जाने लगा कि साहब डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन बननी थी, कहाँ है? अब वो भी बन गई। अब कहा जा रहा है कुछ दिनों से कि मिनिमम वेजेस एक्ट कहाँ है? वो भी लग जाएगा। जब लगेगा तो कुछ लोगों को दिक्कत आएगी जिनको वेजेस देनी पड़ेंगी। And therefore, each of these acts is going to get extended, and each of these acts is meant for those sections of society in Jammu and Kashmir who had been left out of the benefits of the mainstream India and were in a state of deprivation. And each one of those acts deserves to be welcomed. Those of us who have reservation in welcoming any of these acts would be exposing themselves to the accusation that they have a vested interest in doing so. For example, Child Marriage Act वहाँ नहीं लगता था. Tell me which part of the world, which country in the world will have any reservation? Maybe the erstwhile governments wanted to appease a certain section of society and took the bogey of 370 not to implement it. Dowry Act was not applicable. Prevention of sexual offense against children was not applicable. right to education was not applicable. 73-74 amendment, as was being mentioned by Lieutenant Governor Murmu, was not applicable. Land registration, थोड़ी सी वकील साहिबान को दिक्कत आई, but it is now applicable. So what I am trying to plead before you, और मुझे थोड़ी सी इसमें हैरत भी है कि जिन लोगों को बेसब्री कभी कभी होती है, 70 साल आपने पिछले नियम झेले, पिछली डेप्रीवेशन भी झेली, शोषण भी झेला, अब 7 महीने इंतजार करने में दिक्कत है. We have endured the earlier governments for 7 decades. Can't we give just 7 months to the Lieutenant Governor? I avoid talking without statistics. The Lieutenant Governor took over on the 1st of November. He has completed exact 7 months on the 31st of May, just about 1 week back. And we are getting impatient and asking questions why the redemption is not done for the sins of the 7 decades. So everything would be there. Please bear with the center, bear with the LG regime. As far as the DOPT is concerned, I am satisfied to note over here that the 3 important agencies which work under the aegis of DOPT, they have become functional. One, the CAT, of which I'll speak in a few moments in some detail, the Central Vigilance Commission and the Central Information Commission. The Central Vigilance Commission jurisdiction is already extended. The erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir had its own State Vigilance Act, which stands repealed now. In fact, the new Central Vigilance Commissioner, Mr. Sajjay Kothari, who was till recently Secretary to the Rashtrapati of India, has taken over. We had actually planned a joint visit to Jammu, but because of this corona, we have been held back. The Central Information Commission started its hearings on the 15th of May. उस समय भी कहा जा रहा था कि साहब आपको दिल्ली जाना पड़ेगा. Maybe because we were not exposed to the kind of RTI Act and the RTI portals that we have been practicing through the DOPT, but which were not available to Jammu and Kashmir. We have a portal which works day and night. You can file an RTI from home. सुबह शाम रात दिन, कभी रात को 12 बजे के बाद ज्ञान वृद्धि हो तो उठ करके RTI फाइल कर सकते. And the hearings can happen online. This is in fact a step towards what is called justice for all. और इसी तरह से जहां तक, in fact, through the DOPT we had been eager that there are some of the friendly measures and friendly reforms under Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the last 6 years, because we had the mandate to take some out-of-box decisions. These had not got implemented in Jammu and Kashmir, which has happened only in the last few months. For example, immediately after this government came in 2014, one of the first decisions taken was to do away with the age-old rule, which was a part of British legacy, to get certificates attested by the gazetted officers. This rule was immediately done away with, and we sent out a loud message that look here, this is a government led by Prime Minister Modi, which has the capacity to trust the youth of this country. Soon thereafter, another decision which was very close to my heart was that of the abolition of interviews for selections, particularly to the lower posts. If you recall, on the 15th of August 2014, addressing the nation from the ramparts of the Red Fort, Prime Minister Modi had said कि क्या ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि इस इंटरव्यू की प्रथा को समाप्त कर दिया जाए, क्योंकि जब इंटरव्यू का पत्र घर में पहुंचता है तो घर भूचाल आ जाता है. Because everybody starts running helter skelter. किसकी सिफारिश कराएं, कहां से रिकमेंडेशन आए. DOPT took his words very seriously, and I am proud to say that our team completed the entire exercise within a brief period of 3 months. From the 1st of January 2016, the interviews were abolished, but I have no hesitation actually to express my regret that repeated communications to the state of Jammu and Kashmir did not yield any response, and the interviews continue to happen. The abolition of interviews was done with the intent के 95 नंबर कोई कैंडिडेट लेकर के आता है रिटर्न में, आप उसको 5 नंबर वाइवा में दें और उसको फेल कर दें. It was meant to curtail the backdoor entries and to put an end to the jobs for recommendation and maybe jobs for cash. Jammu Kashmir में ये लागू नहीं हुआ. We have to give credit to the Lieutenant Governor's regime. For the first time, we will have recruitments based purely on the written test merit.
Although the Tribunal Act came in 1985, these were not applicable to us. This is historic because after the removal of 370 and 35A, this is one of the milestones. After so many union acts were not applicable earlier, and there was some kind of deprivation. This is one of the steps which will provide lot of support and speedy justice disposal for the employees here. We have, after the removal of 370, Article 370 and 35 and lot many reforms have taken place, so many acts and rules of the union government have been made applicable. Like 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which provided for the strengthening of three-tier local, rural local bodies as well as the urban local bodies, which was not been implemented. We have started implementing that also. So many other initiatives have been taken because of this thing. This is, today we have another milestone. This is all because of the initiative of the central government and the Central Administrative Tribunal that we are getting this bench. We are very thankful. As you know, Jammu Kashmir has lot of service-related matters pending with the High Court. Almost 34,000 cases are there.
This constitutional amendment led to the enactment on 27th February 1985 of the Administrative Tribunals Act 1985 by the Parliament. Thereby came to be established the Central Administrative Tribunal for the Union and Administrative Tribunals for the State or joint tribunals for two or more states. Thus, a new chapter in the history of administering justice to aggrieved government servants in service matters was ushered in. For me, today's occasion is especially momentous as I recollect the setting up of the principal bench in Delhi on the 1st of November 1985. The first case transferred and listed before this bench was a case from the chamber with which I was associated. This was a writ petition transferred from the High Court of Delhi to the tribunal. I have abounding memories of the cumbersome task of setting up of the registry and the operationalization of the first bench of the tribunal. I had occasion to have several interactions with Justice K. Madhav Reddy, the first chairperson of the tribunal, who repeatedly used to discuss the matters with the lawyers, and I have helped in resolution of difficulties in filing of matters, transfer of matters, as well as setting up of the registry. A lot of the staff was sent on deputation from the High Court of Delhi to facilitate the setting up of the first principal bench. It is for me therefore almost as if history repeats itself, as following the enactment of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act by the Parliament of India, the Administrative Tribunals Act 1985 has become applicable to the newly created territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh with effect 1st of October 2019. Cognizant of the teething troubles which I had actually experienced in 1985 in Delhi, we began preparations for transfer of cases from the High Court to the tribunal as back as in November 2019. We today are all aware of the volume of the load which this tribunal is going to take over from the High Court. An important premise on which administrative tribunals are founded is the expectation that it would be a specialist body comprising of trained administrators with grassroots experience and judicial members with judicial experience, thereby providing a judicious mix in enabling expeditious dispensation of efficient justice. Administrative tribunals are distinguishable from ordinary courts both in terms of jurisdiction and procedure. While the tribunal is confined to service matters of persons covered by law, another important distinction is to be found in the tribunal's freedom from procedural technicalities by which courts are bound. Aggrieved persons as well as departmental officers are permitted appearance in person to enable dispensation of effective justice. Several recommendations advocating appointment of court managers are pending consideration either before the government or in courts. I would suggest appointment of professional bench managers to assist the chairperson and the members of the tribunal to impart efficiency and facilitate case management, scrutinize case flows and assist in load management. Continuing judicial education is an integral part of the judiciary. We have the National Judicial Academy and State Judicial Academies rendering human service to this aspect of judicial training. On the same lines, perhaps measures could be incorporated for training of continued training of tribunal members, which would help in improving their legal competencies and enable efficient functioning. The current COVID-19 pandemic did e-programs in every possible field. We today are going from doctors' consultations to virtual courts. The physical seems so remote. 3 months ago, a program like this could not have been even visualized. The current crisis thus has made out the strongest case for automation, digitization, and extensive use of technology in every system. Towards this end, I have made every effort to ensure that the High Court record, which has to be transmitted to this tribunal, has been digitized and is ready for handing over. I am informed by my registry that so far as cases of Srinagar are concerned, the 100% record is ready in a digitized mode for immediate transfer, and in the Jammu wing, almost 80 to 90% of the record stands digitized. We hope to complete the remaining 10% also within this month positively. To improve on its functioning, every effort should be made in the tribunals that the process of digitization commences from the very first day of the commencement of the functioning. Every bench must have access to completely computerized systems to ensure continuity of service and access to justice to all without any disruption for any reason. As I conclude, I must articulate my hope that the new beginning being made today would ensure expedition in adjudication to those who approach the tribunal by a process that is not only fair but is definitely expeditious. The efficacy and responsiveness of a new system or the new system that we are inaugurating today would be impossible without the valuable support and energy of the members of the bar as well as the registries. I am positive that the highly accomplished members of the bars from Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh would lend the same willing and learned support as they lend to the courts as they apply themselves to the formidable task of establishing the tribunal and commencing with the serious business of hearing and decision making. I meant support to the chairperson and members of the tribunal as they apply themselves to the formidable task of establishing the tribunal and commencing its operationalizations. On this occasion of the inauguration of the tribunal bench of the tribunal, my best wishes and assurance for all necessary support to Justice L.N. Reddy and his entire team as they embark on their onerous task today. Thank you.
Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is well known for his dynamism, has taken a keen and personal interest in the establishment of the permanent bench of Central Administrative Tribunal in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. We are deeply privileged to have the presence of Honorable Lieutenant Governor Shri Garish Chandra Murmu as the guest of honor in the inaugural function. We are thankful to Honorable Lieutenant Governor for his immense contribution at various levels in the establishment of the bench. We thank Honorable Justice Geeta Mittal, the Chief Justice of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir, for sparing her valuable time to honor us today with her august presence. Honorable the Chief Justice has taken personal initiative in the establishment of the permanent bench, for which we are indebted to her. We would also like to thank Dr. C. Chandramouli, Secretary, Department of Personnel and Training, for taking a keen and personal interest in the establishment of the bench and having provided us with invaluable inputs and support. Last but not the least, I would specifically want to thank Honorable Justice L. Narasimha Reddy, Chairman, Central Administrative Tribunal, whose initiative and leadership has made it possible for the expeditious setting up of the permanent bench of the Central Administrative Tribunal in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, despite numerous challenges. We look forward to his continuous guidance and support in the future also. I would like to thank the officials of the National Informatics Center in providing technical support in making this event successful. I would also like to thank both the print and electronic media for covering the inaugural function. I would thank the concerned government departments for their support to the function. I thank the members of the bar for their unstinted support in holding of this inaugural function. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. Jai Hind.